Hi everyone, I'm Nan from Zutter Innovative Products. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to show you today all about Zutter's rivets and the rivet setting tools. Okay, so these are the tools that you're going to use the Zutter rivets. This is what the rivets come in. They come in these cute little bottles here, and it's going to be hard to see on the video, but they do come in two different colors. There's one called Antique Brass and one called Black Metal, but they come in these cute little bottles with the pink lids, okay, and there's 50 rivets in each bottle. So some of the other tools that Zutter makes, this is really great. This is the Pound It All. I've been pounding on it, so mine's a little bit, you can see it's used, but it's just a piece of granite, and it really is the key tool to making your rivet setting successful because you need a solid surface that doesn't give when you're pounding. So that's the Pound It All. It's sold by itself. Then there is the hammer and rivet setter. The hammer is like this, and the rivet setter has two tips, a flat tip and a rounded tip, and I'll show you how those are used. And then the other set of tools comes like this. It's the mat and the hole punch. So these are all the tools that you would want to use and have on hand. And they're very portable and easily transportable to your crops. Now, the primary way that most people will end up using rivets is with the Zutter Perfect Closures. These are the little leather straps that come with a buckle. There are 4 styles. I'm going to show you how to use those, and I'm going to show you with a decorated coverall. And this is the coverall. I've already covered it with paper. You can see here, front and back. And I want to attach this perfect closure so it's going to look like this eventually when I get it. Now the nice thing about the perfect closures is that they are completely alterable. You can take the leather and you can ink them and alter them any way you like. I'm going to show you with just a chalk ink pad. I'm just going to give it a little distressing on there like that. You can paint it, you can alter it, you can stamp on it. They're really great. So I'm going to just set that aside for right now. Then in order to make my holes, I'm going to use the Pound It All and the hole punch. I'll make sure I do that on the right side here. I'm going to punch my hole in the back to set the Pound It All, or the rivet in the back. So the Pound It All is underneath. Here's my hole punch and my hammer, and I'm going to make a real nice couple of pounds. And you can see I just made a hole right through the back. Then I'm going to take my rivets that came with the perfect closure, put the one side in the back, flip it over, and I'm going to take the back side of my strap and lay it on top. Now there's a little snap top to the rivet. That's going to go on top. And this is where the rivet setter comes in. Now there is a rounded side, which I'm going to use in this case. It fits right over the rounded part of the rivet, and a couple of quick taps. Okay, now that is a secure, solid attachment of that closure. You can see it's not going to come off for anything, which I really love. Now, if you were paying attention, you would see that that hole punch went through this thick chipboard right here in a couple of quick taps, which is really nice. I could have done it anywhere in the book. Now, I'm going to kind of eyeball my front closure. I'm going to want this front strap closure to go about here. I'm just going to take a pen and make a little mark about where I want it. Of course, some people will be a little bit more careful with how they measure. I just eyeball and go for it. Now I'm going to punch my next hole. Here's the hole punch. Lay it on top. Pound it all. The hole puncher and the hammer. Oh, one more good tap. There we go. There's my hole. Now I'm going to take the back part of the rivet, set it in. Can't see what I'm doing. Let me put it in there. Lay it on the Pound It All, and then here's the front part of the closure. Now you can see I've lifted it up and there is a hole in there. Lay that on top of the bottom part of the rivet, and then put the cap on the rivet. And I just kind of give it a little push, and there's my rivet setter. Again, I'm going to start with the rounded end of the rivet setter, give it a couple of good taps, and because I want to make sure that this closure lays flat, I'm going to use the flat end of the rivet setter and give it a couple of more really good taps. Now that's not going anywhere. That closure is on there good and tight, and then I can just insert this strap. So here you are. You can see I've attached the closure, and I can just pull my strap through and close it up. So that's how you attach the perfect closure with rivets. I'll show you a couple other fun applications for rivets. You don't have to use them just to attach the perfect closures. but you can use the rivets. Here I adhered them to this coverall with through the chipboard letters. So I punched the holes through the chipboard letters first, and then I put a little bit of glue on here to hold them down onto the coverall, because I didn't want them wiggling around. But I can then just really secure them, and it kind of goes with this decor of this paper. In fact, I'm going to lay in these rivets like this, upside down. I'll show you a little trick when I'm doing a lot of rivets at once. I'll lay down the backs of the rivets like this and put the pounded all on top, and then flip it over so those little backings there won't pop out. Then I'll go ahead and put the snap tops on top. I'm going to do all three of these just to finish this up, show you how quick you can get it done. And grab my rivet setter, which went where? Right there. Sorry, it's rolling around on my desk. Give them some quick taps. So this is how my color journal looks after I've set the rivets through all these chipboard letters. I really love the way this looks. The rivets have got a nice solid attachment for these letters. They're not going to come off. I also attached this series of flowers with a rivet. It adds a whole different kind of look to your project. The inside of my coverall, you can see the back side of the rivets here. I'm going to just cover that with pattern paper, so nobody's going to need to see the back side of that. So this is my coverall. I just had some plain white cardstock in here, and that's a fun journal that I've got. Let me show you a couple of other applications for rivets. I already showed you the perfect closure, but here's one here that I inked with brown ink. And this is actually the Zutter canvas art board that was painted and stamped. And this whole book is made with the Zutter clipboard wood. It's like a board book. It's like thick wood. So the closures actually came in really nice and handy for that, because the pages are so heavy, and it's nice to have them nice and securely closed with the buckle. You don't always have to use it to attach things necessarily. In this case, I used the sort of anywhere hole punch and punched some holes in the top of this layout and applied some of the black metal rivets to the top just for decorative purposes. And again, because the hole punch is so portable and I can take it anywhere with me, I can take it to crops and use it as a hole punch for anywhere on my project. So it's not just for the buckles and the heavy embellishments. And then I would really urge everybody to try and get creative with the rivets. This is a 6x6 album I've been playing with. You can see there's a rivet down here in the bottom corner. And this is kind of a spin-out book that I'm playing with and trying to get some fun with. And these pages are going to fold out sort of like a puzzle. This is only 4 pages. I was going to maybe try and do some with the smaller chipboard pages. But that's kind of a fun application, and you can't really do this with brads. Brads would not hold this down. The rivets are going to hold it nice and secure. So this is another fun way to add some interactivity to your albums, and you can actually do something like this with smaller pages on a layout. So that's a fun little flip out book that I think you'll really enjoy. So that's just an idea on how to use some of the rivets. Again, here's the key tools, the Pound It All, which I love. That's key to providing the firm surface for your pounding. You also have the mat and the hole punch, which you can use actually on top of the Pound It All if you really want to get some extra firmness to the punching. And then there's the hammer and rivet setter. And just to reiterate, the perfect closures. They are these little metal straps. You can cut them, ink them, sand them, paint them, stamp them, whatever you like. The buckles come in 4 different styles. They come with enough rivets to set the closure onto your project. And if you don't have a Pound It All with a rivet setter and a hammer, it does come with a wooden press that you can use your own hammer with and set the rivets on your own as well. So those are the perfect closures. One thing I do want to mention in terms of maintenance on the hole punch, because it is a hole punch, the chipboard and paper can get stuck inside the hole punch. You'll occasionally need to take a push pin or a paper piercer and just kind of pry out some of that chipboard and keep it clean. That'll help you make the hole punches nice and easy. So that's rivets from Zutter, and I hope you enjoy them. Get creative.